Yo, what up world? It's Yo Nyaga for Let's Go here. And I know if you're looking for Mila, I told you already in the last video she's not here. I'm in a different city, so you won't see her here. But anyway, let me back up so you guys can see my face better. I'm still here in Saratov, and this may be a long video. First, I'm going to tell you about something that happened, and this link right here is if you want to see the actual video. Now that I know a little more about the story, I can tell you what happened and why I'm making this video. I made a video maybe three or four videos ago with Mila, and in the video it showed a clip of two Russian men, one man and his son. His son was probably like, I don't know, 19 years old or something. And you see the father, like you can't see the black guy. He's Caucasian, he's like a Muslim guy basically. Like he's from somewhere south of Russia. They're usually Muslims, but you know they have beards and stuff, so they call them black. So he saw the black guy, and they like had like a little back and forth, like, hey, what are you looking at? Something like that. Caucasian guy gets up. As soon as he gets up, he approaches the white guys. Caucasian here means like Muslim and kind of like Middle Eastern or whatever. So he gets up and he approaches the Russians, and the Russian father immediately pulls out a gun. Now, it wasn't a real gun, it was a dramatic gun. It like kind of like a BB gun or something. Like it hurts like shit, but it doesn't have real bullets. So he pulls it out, shoots the guy in the stomach, you know, he's bleeding and stuff, then kicks him, then shoots him in the face. This is all on the train, shoots him in the face. And then him and his son, you know, people start running, then him and his son wait near the door to get out the next stop. And as they're waiting there, I think the Caucasian guy tried to come back to fight them or something, and just as that happens, the son pulls out his dramatic gun or whatever, points at him, says some shit in Russian like, don't move, stay over there, don't follow us. And like the image, right here as you see, the image of this guy, of the son holding the gun is becoming like, and he's becoming like an icon. He's like holy, he's like amazing and stuff like that now. People have pictures of him on their phones, as their phone covers. They have pictures of him on cars. And you know, I'm just going to address it. I'm going to address the racism in Russia. This includes, this is going to be about the Caucasian thing. It's going to be about blacks. It's going to be about everybody. I'm going to get into it. One, the racism out here is fucking real. It's so real, it's scary. Between like the whole Caucasian and Russian thing. It's almost scary because it can straight out just burst into like some fucking civil war or some shit, some real race war shit. It's not like the racism in America. You know, that's some weak shit. Out here, racism is serious. And I'm not saying racism out here is just for no reason when it comes to Caucasians. A lot of Russians have strong feelings, strong beliefs that a lot of Caucasians come to Russia and cause trouble. They cause trouble. They all tell me this. The vast majority of Russians, even the most understanding, even want to liberate gays and all this stuff, the most understanding, nice Russians you could possibly meet say the same thing. Caucasians cause a lot of problems in Russia. They all say it. And so when I'm hearing all these people say it, there has to be some truth to it. There has to be. Now, as everyone knows, I also have close Caucasian friends, and they tell me the opposite. They tell me, yeah, you know, Russians pick on Caucasians because they're colored, you know, they're different, and they don't understand Caucasians, so Russians pick on them. Now, sometimes I don't know who to believe. And the reason why I don't know who to believe is because I don't start shit with anybody in Russia, and people want to start shit with me all the time, especially when I'm with a girl. Even when I'm not doing shit, so it makes me think, are the Russians just being racist in general? Or do they really not like Caucasians for a reason? But if they don't like Caucasians for a reason, what's the reason for not liking me and other African people? We don't do shit to anybody out here. We don't. You just see us going to universities, hanging out with girls. That's about it. They don't cause trouble here. But yet, they're not liked. But I will admit, they're not hated as much as the Caucasians are. But the difference is, the reason why it's easier to fuck with Africans than it is to fuck with Caucasians, because the Caucasians won't take that shit. Even when the Caucasian in the clip, when he got shot, he wasn't running. When he saw the guns, he didn't run. These dudes aren't scared of shit. They're not scared of you. They'll fight you and 10 skinheads. They don't give a fuck. Africans will probably fight too, but they don't want to fight. They just want to live in peace. And that's why they don't fuck with Caucasians, I think, as much as they fuck with Africans. Because Africans are very peaceful here. But the Caucasians will fight you. They'll fucking fight you. Now, I understand where a lot of Russians come from. They say a lot of Caucasians come here, you know, they want to put Sharia law, they don't respect Russian law, And that's kind of what the symbol of this guy is. Like the symbol of the kid with the gun. It's kind of like a, we are not going to take your shit anymore. We're standing up for ourselves. If you're going to be in our home, you have to respect our rules. Fine. But what about when somebody's in your home respecting your rules and they still get crap? You know what I mean? There's two things I'm trying to say here mostly. It's, number one is, I understand maybe you think or you feel or you have reasons to believe that other outsiders come here and start trouble, and so you want to defend yourself. So that icon is a symbol of we're going to defend ourselves. But why are so many Russians defending themselves against things that aren't attacks? You know what I mean? A lot of Russians defend themselves against things that ain't an attack. I'm walking around with a girl. That's not an attack. Who's attacking you? I was invited here. I'm not some immigrant. Same with a lot of other Africans and black people here. Well, where's the attack? What are you mad about? You jealous? What are you mad about because we're hanging out with girls? You see, that's what I'm talking about. I would understand completely if all the Russians were like, yeah, you know, Caucasians are here causing trouble. That's why we have so much negative feelings for them. But what are the cause of the negative feelings towards the Africans? Someone explain this to me. Or the black Americans. Someone explain it. Where's it coming from? Especially when we're invited here to what? Play basketball, dance, and teach English. Well, what are you mad about? You see? So, even though there may be much evidence to Caucasians causing trouble, a part of me, when I hear it, I just think you're racist because of the things I see out here in Russia that happen to innocent black people. They always tell me about them getting in fights with neo-Nazis and shit, and they didn't do nothing. So it's like, are Caucasians really causing trouble, or are you just being racist like you are with Africans? So it's hard for blacks, like African blacks and African Americans, it's hard for us to decipher what's honest, like self-defense, and what's just racism. You know, it's hard for me to decipher it because of what we go through as peaceful people. And bad shit happen to us. But then they're violent people, and sometimes bad shit happen to them. So we don't know if it's because they're doing shit or just because you're racist. So you gotta understand from my point of view. You have to understand it. But there have been some riots. Like there was one situation where it was a Caucasian guy stabbed and killed a Russian guy somewhere near Moscow, and there was like a riot. This was like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and they were rioting about it in Moscow. I was living there at the time. They were rioting in Moscow. There's also another huge situation I heard about, like when I first came to Russia, and I was doing an interview. I was going to do an interview for the news, and before we interviewed the news, some reason the owner of the news channel just decided to sit down with me for 30 minutes and tell me about Caucasians. He just sat me down. I was like, oh, these guys are terrible. They do this, they do that. I mean, it's big shit out here, dude. It is big shit. It's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. It's big shit. It could really boil over and people could really get hurt. It could really end up in a race war. This racism shit in Russia towards Caucasians, it's big. And like, I'll give another example. I had a class in Moscow a few days ago, and there's a girl I really like. She's Caucasian, and she's awesome. And there's this other Russian lady, she's cool too, but she kind of just started in a class speaking against Caucasians. And there was a nice Caucasian girl right next to her. And they were kind of going back and forth, but you know they were in class, so they didn't go too hard. But yo, it's that serious. It's dead ass serious shit out here. And I don't know what to do. Like, I want to calm everyone down, but what can I do? You know, Russians won't listen to me that much. The Chechens won't listen to me that much. What can I do to cool heads down? Because these people, yo, they really may spark off one day. They really may just be some big-ass riot, attack all the Caucasians you see, and they're just some big fight. Because it doesn't matter how many you are. Odds are if you attack a Caucasian, he's fighting all of you, period. He's fighting you. You know, so, I don't know, man. It's real. It's real shit. I'm out of Moscow. There's many reasons why I'm not living in Moscow anymore. One, it's too depressing in Moscow. Too many people in Moscow. Too many angry people in Moscow. I'm out of there. I have a lot of friends in Rostov. There's gonna be I'm going to have a lot of fun living in Rostov. I know it. I'm gonna spend my last 5 months in Russia in Rostov. And right now I'm in Saratov. The girls are bad in Saratov. And bad as in good. They're amazing. But other than all that, man, I just want to say the racism out here, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. Now I want to separate two things. I want to say, when I say racism towards Africans, that racism is just based on natural dislike of the other race. Because you don't have reasons to not like Africans. You can't say anything like Africans come here and cause problems, because that's bullshit. I'm not saying they're angels. They don't come here and cause problems. Everyone knows that. Whether it's because there's too little of them, maybe because they're scared, whatever it is, they don't cause problems, period. They're peaceful people. They just hang out with girls and shit. That's all we do. We're always with girls. That's what we do. People just get mad. But we don't cause problems. Then there's the racism based on shit. So the racism based on shit is probably the racism towards the Caucasians starting shit. And another thing, I had an interview today, and of course, in every interview, they asked me about Caucasians. Every interview I ever had, Caucasians come up in the subject, because everyone want to know what cities I went to. I say I went to Grozny, and they're always like, you went there? No one killed you? No one hurt you? No! Being in Chechnya is the safest place for me to be. There's no alcohol. People treat me with fucking respect in Chechnya. I get more respect in Grozny than I do in any other place in Russia. Fact. Fact. They don't look at me as some outsider that they want to fight. They see me in their home, they want to welcome me, and they want me to stay there if I like it. You know what I mean? It's different than in Russia. They're much more welcome than in the rest of Russia, period. Let me walk around Russia with some dark glasses on, and you watch how people treat me and how they look at me and the shit they say when I'm just walking around with a girl. You watch what happens. Even when I'm in Chechnya, of course, I can walk around with girls, I hang out with girls. No one gives me that treatment, as long as I'm not touching them. No one gives me that treatment. It's not like that. It's welcome, this and that. As long as I'm being nice, as long as I'm not being aggressive to the women, as long as I'm not touching them, they are cool. It doesn't matter. In the rest of Russia, as long as I'm next to a girl, it's an issue. She can just be my home girl, but it's an issue usually. And a lot of times, when shit does happen in Russia, it's because dudes are drunk. They get this liquid courage and they just start talking shit. Like, do I know you, homie? Then they try to talk to me and I say, I only know English. You should learn Russian, I want to talk to you. I'm like, I'm not here to talk to you. Do your thing, I don't need you. You're not a cop. You're just some drunk dude. I don't need to talk to you. Drink your beer and fuck off. You know, that's how I see it. So, that's basically it, man. Racism out here, it's crazy, but a lot of it is based on situations that have happened with Caucasians in the past. And I think it's going to really just... it's going to blow over one day. And I don't want to be around when it blows over. And it's getting real scary because it's obvious. With this picture of this guy that's floating around with the let's say, teenager, with the teenager that's floating around, it's an obvious stance to fuck Caucasians in Russia. Or at least fuck the aggressive Caucasians in Russia. We're not going to take your shit. That's what that thing is saying. And I think a lot of Caucasians are going to get very upset seeing that picture everywhere. They're going to get upset. Something bad's going to happen. And I've said everything I need to say. I said a lot of shit. I'm sure Caucasians are going to be mad about what I said. Russians are going to be mad about what I said. But I have evidence about everything I just said. I have evidence. I have the evidence. I have the videos of me all over Chechnya. Everything was great. I have videos of me in Russia with bad shit happening. I have it. I mean, no one's touched me, but I got people talking shit. All this stuff on camera. And that's basically it, man. And I'm out. Later.